Is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation
of Hearts Grant is brought to you by Alive, One for Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Epic Battery, Grand Bahama News, Marco's Pizza, Prince Masters, Ross Electric Motors, and the University of the Bahamas.
Excuse me for me to interruption. Boy, you come and a quick reminder to say this coming Friday, and please come over to the lawn. You went to see man number one sound round town. And it's a Friday evening. Boom! The people them tired of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Boom! It make them feel like dancing. Ain't no summer set. Burrito will be greater with the disco operator. 5-double-18 and a 6-tweeter. This the DJ top sweeter. See down the drums are up with the echo chamber. Watch your man, play the play. I demo tear off the game. Them up to step in with them.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. It's a beautiful Friday. Grateful to be in your company. August 2nd. I sure you're getting your haircuts, you're getting your braids done, you're getting all these things, you get pom-pom pants, all these things ready for vacation. I hope you are. You got a couple more weeks before school starts. I'm hoping that you're making that transition to kind of make the most out of the summer. The kids been working, they've been doing their thing, or getting on your nerves, whatever they've been doing. And I'm hoping that you guys had a great summer. I know that it was a smeltering. The heat was tremendous. It was astonishing. I think it was 3,420 degrees the other day. I didn't know what to do. And then my wife went snuggle. Like, if you don't get away from me, miss, in Jesus' name. You know, sometimes I can't deal with these kind of things. Anyway, guys, I just want to, I gotta be decent with this. Anyway, I just want to be able to shout out my good decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. Make sure you go down there and check out AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers if you're in the market for insurance, especially for your bulk vehicles. If you want to be able to do that, if you get some SDs, some taxis, some liveries, even if you got your own personal vehicle, you can be able to take advantage of some very, very good rates that they have. I feel like this is the absolute best on the island. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could hold me to that because all my stuff is insured with these guys. So you make sure you go down there and check them out. AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers, 341-3411-AFS. They can take very, very good care of you. Number 407 Blue Hill Road South, 9 to 5 on the weekdays, 9 to 2 on Saturday. Guys, it's a beautiful day. I don't know what y'all doing for the weekend, but it's a beautiful day. All right. I got my short pants on. All right. You know, Jenny keeps saying, "Wow, are you wearing short pants again today?" I said, "Baby, this is the summertime. You got to relax yourself. It's the summertime. We in the Bahamas. I don't understand why people want to wear suits. I just don't understand. Okay, we wear suit style and pizzazz, but the truth is, I just don't want to sweat to death. All right. So let me wear my short pants." In the summertime. It's a beautiful time. I'm hoping that you guys have a good time. I don't know what you're going to be doing this weekend, but whatever you do, make sure you do that with style, with pizzazz, with clarity, with sobriety. I know you like to take a little drink or two. I'm not getting your business. I know from you confirm the taste of rum, you just couldn't get rid of that from your confirmation, right? But be decent. Just be decent. Don't overdo it. I saw someone the other day. You guys look at these things, right? I saw someone the other day. The allegation was these people are in the uniform branch of the government. Man, the fella couldn't stand up. My God, he fall down 2 times. He get back up. He try to hold himself up on the chair. He fall down again. It is wet. You're soaking wet. You need to get your life together. I'm not going to fight you. Guys, pick up your Guardian newspaper. All the information's in there. Worries over the future of Sandoz workers. Ferguson says that the anxious staff members have called him for help. This isn't the first time. I think the precedent's already set. And I think, I don't know whether or not Obi Ferguson's going to be able to do anything for you. Is it good for me to say that? Is it indecent? Should I say it like that? I don't believe that Obi Ferguson can do anything for you at this particular point. The die has been cast for you. The die has been cast for the tourism industry in the country. It has all started with Sarkoz's Marillion and his posture as it relates to what was happening at the Malia, as it relates to what was happening for that entire conglomerate, and the transition as the entire country waited with bated breath, and the corporate entities just looked on in amazement, salivating, waiting for their opportunity to be able to pounce on this and take full advantage so they can be able to grab it. They shifted the model of tourism in this country. Can I say this? Y'all don't like to talk like this. Y'all see it and then play dead stupid like y'all ain't see it. You see it. The model of tourism has shifted in this country. No one having a real conversation about this. You're crying about the fact that why no one catching the taxis. You're crying about the fact that, the indifference that exists between the taxis and the liveries and all these things. But the truth is that for the most part, that's going to be a one-time. That's what you're fighting for, a one-time fee. Because these tourists, after they get within the confines of these organizations, these entities, these hotels, where they're all inclusive, they have no need to come outside here no more. None. They have no need. All the watered down liquor you could drink, 78 bottles on the wall, 78 bottles of rum. And then you take one off and you get wet right up. Now 77 bottles of beer on the wall. This is it. This is the concept and idea that exists in these things. You don't allow them to change the entire construct of what the tourism industry meant. You came in, you pay your taxes and service charges to the hotel, you stayed in that particular entity. If you wanted some breakfast or a nice dinner in the evening, you had access to that, but you stayed for those duration of days, you at least went out. You wanted to go down to the space where they was able to do some stuff, but now the confines of your room night, your rate room per night, your food already wrapped in that. Talk to me. Your food is already wrapped in that. The only person that are coming out of here winning is the hotel. It's the hotel. You run into Obi Ferguson now, and you want to have a conversation, and these are the same people. Listen to me. Let's be decent. The unions are the same people that you ran to, and they couldn't get access when they shut Sandoz down. They shut it down. They didn't just say, we're going to take a hiatus like Crystal Palace. Do you remember when Crystal Palace did that? And everybody could come in and they were still able to grandfather their years in. And they went over to the Malia. And then after they got there, that was it. That's the last time you hear about grandfathering in your years. Similar to if you get seconded. Government people know what this is. If you're working for the Royal Bahamas Police Force, you're working for the Customs, you're working for immigration, whatever, and you get seconded to the office of the Prime Minister, or you get seconded, or if I'm saying that word right, seconded, right? If you get to a different department and division entirely, you didn't have to start over. You're still working for the government of the Bahamas. So if you were working for the Royal Bahamas Police Force for 15 years, when you get to the office of the Prime Minister, your 15 years still good. Your 15 years is still acknowledged in the public service, and they can still be able to give you access and opportunity to these things. That was the principle that happened when you move from one space to another within the confines of what was happening over there at Cable Beach. So if you came from the Crystal Palace, if you came from those particular places and you moved from one space to another, you still had this sort of recognition, this acknowledgement that you've been working in the industry for X amount of years. If something happened to the hotel and they had to shut down for 6 months for renovation during a slow season, it didn't indicate that you weren't working anymore. It said there was a lull during this time, so it'll be reflected in your paycheck, but it wouldn't be reflected or even tampered with as it relates to the years of service that you've rendered for this space. So when you go to the bank, you could say to them, I've worked at Crystal Palace, I've worked to Malia for 10 years. I need a house. Yeah, you could have done that. Not now. They shut the whole hotel down. They fire everybody. Everybody. And the unions couldn't do nothing. Everybody was fired. We don't know when we're going to open back again. Lies and deceit. We've watched this happen numerous times since then. Every contract came to null. Now, the contracts are being reintroduced within increments. So, anytime it's time for you to be able to assess your contract, be able to identify whether or not you're going to become a permanent worker, you have to start all over again. You can't get nowhere in this system. But you get O.B. Ferguson. What are you going to do? O.B. Ferguson, in that particular party, they've already cast their lot with the government. The government's objective and responsibility is not just to be concerned about what's happening to Sandoz, but the overall picture of what's happening in the Bahamas. Is there productivity? Yes or no? Is there forward movement? Yes or no? Is there a desire for international entities and investors to come into the Bahamas? Yes or no? And if there is, the government has to work on that. Their care and concern should be, but not necessarily their focus is on you. You got to fight for yourself. You keep going to the same people who put you in these things. I just want to be decent with you. You lost everything. You lost it. Now you're a young person. You thought your only saving grace was the fact that if you commit yourself for these years in this hotel, during a particular time, you're going to make some money at least. That don't happen no more. At least you could accumulate things and the bank would give you some things. No, significant scrutiny when you go to the bank now. That don't happen no more. They have turned the tourism industry on its head. But it's a new day. I digress. I'm not going to fight you. More information's out there. Virgin Atlantic to end Bahamas flights in early 2025. Lobster fishing traps in Long Island delayed by tropical disturbance, and the businessman acquitted of rape of a teen. This is a lot. This is a tremendous amount. All the information's in there. Jesus, my God. Former Chairman Colley and broadcaster Mackey give references to court. This is in the Tribune. Guys, I want to be able to dive deeper into these things. I want you to join me in conversation today. It's a Friday evening. Let's be decent. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of Island, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796 on the text. When we get back, we're going to dive into more topical news information out there right now. Let's see if we can chop down some things that's happening locally, internationally, and what we can expect moving forward. Quick commercial break. Be right back after this.
Foundation. Get ready to celebrate independence the BK way with our new Independence King combos. Choose from our classic flame grilled beef version or indulge in a crispy chicken breast topped with savory bacon, arugula, crisp onion rings, cheese, and our special tropical sauce. Both come with fries and a drink for a flavor sensation perfect for celebrating every year. Remember to top off your Independence King combo with a delicious guava sundae or the new guava ice shaker, available only at Burger King Nassau.
Attention, all fall 2024 applicants to University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching and we're thrilled to welcome you to UB. But first, we need your help. If you've started your online application, now is the time to submit all outstanding supporting documents. Make sure to send in your transcripts and copies of relevant. To secure your acceptance to UB, your application must be fully processed. And remember to keep checking your emails for important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at University of the Bahamas.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from around the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326-EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company lines are wide open. Please be a part of it. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the Family of Islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Just being able to chop this thing down. I'm peculiar how things happen. I'm peculiar. I mean, how much time are you going to let somebody beat you and walk all over you and then go back to them for help? And I'm not talking about an individual. I'm not talking about Obie Ferguson as an individual. I'm talking about the fact that, in my view, for the most part, it may not necessarily be all the unions, but for the most part, I don't necessarily know whether or not the union has the strength to take us where it needs to go anymore. The agitation, the preservation, the insight, the studied posture to understand your craft and executing it accordingly. I don't see it anymore. I don't. You can fight me, you can cuss me, you can say this. Well, what about me? You think I'm talking about you? I'm not talking about you. Overall desire for understanding your craft and executing this for the protection of those persons that pay your bills relentlessly, that keep your light on, your water on, keep braces in your little children cricket teeth mouth. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that you take no acknowledgement. After all this time, you've just seen money coming to you, rushing to you on a consistent basis. Relentlessly, you've been taken care of in these particular capacities. And when we look at the workers, things are shifting on a relentless basis for them. Their condition, their livelihood, their voices within their industry is diminished significantly. And it's just peculiar to me that every time that we've seen some significant influx, some rapid changes within the industry, it's done with under the PLP. Am I correct with that? Am I correct? When the Sandals Hotel shut down entirely, that was under the PLP. Sarkis Meridian, under the PLP. The transformation in that particular state. There was a little indifference that existed at the Atlantis Hotel, but for the most part, there was relentless productivity. We can identify people who've become millionaires from being able to commit themselves to Atlantis. Humble people who said that they started with one limousine. They expanded their... But come on, talk to me. This was the Atlantis Hotel. I haven't heard these stories since then. You've been kept in a corner. Let's read a little piece of the story so we could see if it's making sense to us. So it says, President of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, Obie Ferguson, said yesterday that he is concerned about the impending temporary closure of the Sandals Emerald Bay in Exuma and the impact on staff, urging the government to pass laws to protect Bahamian workers from these scenarios. The more than 400 workers at the Sandals Emerald Bay are not represented by a union, although Ferguson said that many of them would like to. Adding, some worried staff members have reached out to him for help. Now, this is peculiar. I want to say that. This is peculiar. With the shift within the industry, with the shift that has happened from when Sandals closed down in Nassau, with the shift that happened since then, and the shift that happened at the Malia Hotel, when they transitioned from the Sheraton to the Malia, and the shift that happened during this particular stay. Now there has to be sort of a relentless agitation and sort of an issue that you have to present socially, publicly and from a governmental standpoint to say this is why they need representation. And so this is that crowning moment, an opportunity to be able to get more money coming into the union. Representation at $10 a head for 400 people. Let's be decent. That's 4,000 people. $4,000. And that's a month to month. I think it is, if I'm corrected, that's monthly. Or somebody correct me. Was it when I was in the union in the hotel, we used to pay $10 a month. $10 a paycheck. So that's $40 a month. $10 a paycheck, because you get a paycheck every week. So that's $40. That's $16,000 a month that the union is seeking to gain from representation for those persons if they pay their $10 fee and all of them decide to join the union. If the majority decides that they want to be able to join the union, they pay their $10, and the minority decides that they don't want whatever benefits the union bring to them, you still have to pay $9.25. So essentially, the union is seeking to make $16,000 from the 400 persons that are not represented in the union in Exuma. That's $16,000 a month. So the agitation, in my view, for the observation, is not necessarily for the people, but for the finances. Because the exact same thing will happen after you find yourself in this position. You're not going to get representation. It's going to be a casual conversation with a very clear observation of what your expectations are when you're here. You know that we have representation. All your members now who are working for your hotel, they are part of our union. We have the opportunity to be able to enact certain things. You want productivity in your space, make sure you take care of these people. Tell these people life. This is the structure of how things happen now. And as you look at this, you try to make a determination as to whether or not there should be another union form that's really going to take care of the people. You all hear how much I tell you? That's 16th in 10 months, that's $160,000. In 10 months, $160,000. You hear me? This is the type of money that you could be able to access from representation. But representation requires reciprocity. That I give you the finances and you give me the representation. I give you what you require, you give me what I require. But we have unions over maybe 2 decades now. I won't be decent. Now, there are some advocates for the union and some individuals, like my good friend Belinda, my good friend Zane Lightbourne, who was a part of the union, my good friend Nicole, who would indicate to me about the indifference that exists in these particular spaces. But the truth of the matter is that these stories, individually or collectively, as those persons who represent the union, means nothing in comparison to the fact that we are not seeing a thriving membership in this space. It seems like, I feel like last week Friday we had the same conversation. The unions are an afterthought. You get no respect from the government, you get no respect from these particular entities, and you get no respect from anyone from the public sector. We're only looking at you, but there's no expectation. You're like a dog that barks with no teeth. You got to bite. You got to bite. You got to go at these things and make some things happen, but you're not doing that. You want all of us up in arms. Oh my God, 400 people. No, the same thing's going to be happening here. You think the members here are concerned with what's happening there? When Bahama was having their issues, they had to congregate and find themselves to look for a proverbial leader, a Moses, to be able to lead them out in the streets. And then you saw the handprint and the thumb of politics playing in the thing. Come on, man, y'all talk. Let's be decent. Maybe we should just do away with unions entirely and threaten our government members that if you don't get these things straight, we're taking you out early. Maybe that's more productive. Because these union members, and this is in the papers, they will go with the opposition and sit down and craft the narrative, and whatever they give you when they get in, you got to deal with that. when I start to hear about things that's happening from the union. I really do. I get passionate because I know a lot of these people. I had someone who worked at the hotel with me. He's gone on now. He's working to the hotel with me. I managed the front office, like so the whole front door and all those things, right? So I had to do all the time and the pay stub and this and that and all this. I had to set up everything for these people, and I managed them. And one of my bellmen at the doors, doorman, he was doorman and a bellman. He would tell me his stories. These men, 30 years, 40 years older than me. You understand? They're 40 years older than me. They've been in a hotel longer than I've existed. They've been working in the hotel longer than I've existed. They start to tell you stories of when they was working in the hotel in the late 70s. I wasn't even here yet. And one of my guys was telling me a story about how he has never school. He's never been to school. You never been to school? No. Mr. Grant, I can't read and I can't write. I learn it now. My daughter's teaching me. This is what he's telling me. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to these stories. I'm amazed that he had to have children. And his children, with the pursuit of education and access to these things, his children became his teacher. And they taught their father how to read and write. This daddy now, for years, he worked in the front office capacity as a bellman. He took care of his entire family. He's a married man, was a married man. Was a married man, he took care of his entire family. He sent one of his children off to college, right off the hotel money. You hear me? Right off the tips, right off the hotel money. He built a house for his family. He took care of them. He took care of his wife. He took care of his children. And this man had no education. But he knew his value as it relates to when he worked, he would get paid. He knew when we got paid within the hotel, the taxes, the service charges, and all those particular things, that he would get a significant portion of that. And when occupancy was up, he knew he was making some money. He knew these things. And I looked at that and I really commended the hotel for being able to create an opportunity. And there's stories that Lyndon Pinland would actually come and be a bellman also in those particular capacities. No one knew. He's just a black boy. So no one knew that he was the prime minister of the country other than the workers and those particular persons in that space. But he came there in a humble position and he served those people during that time. This is the former prime minister of the country. He understood a lowly position and he served in that capacity. These are all tales that we can be able to tell about these things. But as I listen to one story after another, because, I engage people. As I listen to one story after another with people that work to the hotel, I realize something. Thank God for the hotel. Because a lot of these people would not be able to survive and find true sense of productivity because they may not necessarily have the education, they may not necessarily have the insight, they may not even have the type of motivation. And I've always said to you, I commend the hotel. The hotel took on a program that even who are mentally challenged, those special persons, the hotel created a space for them. I'm telling you, man. I commend the hotel. I commend the hotel for creating a space. Not this saying we hire you and we didn't know that you had mental challenges. This is we hired you because you had mental challenges and gave you repetition. We gave you responsibility and repetition. Once you learned that, they kept with it. The hotel gave productivity to these people. Now, 5,000 people are being discharged from school. I can't say graduating. A lot of them being discharged from school. 5,000 people, young men and women, annually. And if 50% of them, 55% of them, if they could read, write, and comprehend, we did well. Because 55% is a D. If 55% of them could read, write, comprehend, and execute accordingly, we did well. If they're open enough to be able to be trainable, teachable, coachable, we did well. Some of these children don't understand. My God, they got phones and they'll be texting people. You have to know ancient script. You got to be able to know how to decode ancient script to read these texts these people to send you. That's what you got to do. These hieroglyphics that they send into you in text because they don't know how to spell. There's no test to go to BTC or Alive to get a phone. You get one. And they're dangerous with this thing. But they find themselves in a space of productivity and they still ain't making no money. This is why our country is failing. There's no opportunity for people to be able to be men and women and stand independently and know that they can take care of somebody else with this little piece of change that you're giving them. And now these entities who are already then shoveling more than 60%, 70% of the money out of the country, seeking to take even more with the gratuities. I don't want to hear but no union. I tired of them. I don't want to hear but them. I want to hear, and it seems like almost every subsector that we look at, there's a level of corruption that we cannot shake in this country, man. This is too much. And we sit down here and we look at this and we don't say nothing. We say nothing. The lines are open, guys. Please be a part of the conversation. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the Family of Islands. 242-300-5720. I don't want to hear it, man. I don't. Telephone call on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Grant. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
I'm all right, Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant, now you can't say, we don't say nothing. You should say the individuals who should say something don't say nothing.
You mean us who's agitated on the radio?
No. Those whose responsibility it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They ain't saying nothing. I only hear when it come to their money, they won't talk.
Yeah, but those who are in positions whose responsibility it is to speak to those things, that kind of way, those are the ones who are silent. But last week, this week, when we was talking about you giving credit to the politicians of the past, but if there's one thing you can do, you can give credit to the union leaders of the past.
I could do that.
Yeah. Now, if you do that, I'll say yes. How would I? Because it would shut down the country.
But you see the transition?
Shut down the country for the rights of the people.
Yeah, but then after they got involved in politics, they became a part of they folded their lot in with the same guys.
Yes, sir. Because if you notice, it seems as if it's a trend, some sort of trend for union leaders to go into politics, And it's kind of odd because, if you are someone who is truly standing up for the rights of the people and you interacting with the various governments, you would know that them ain't really about nothing. That kind of way. And if you're an individual, they wouldn't bother to even run with them. And
what do you think they say to you for you to join with them after you're in the union?
They show you some money. How would you just finish saying that?
What money?
Huh?
You could get more money in the union than working for government.
Yeah, but with some people, how would see some of them is get it both ways. Like while they are head of the union, they getting something from the government to keep their mouth shut. Like you was talking about being a dog with no teeth, and I think they were talking about how union leaders signed some type of MOU with the government, whereas they would not really agitate, or should I say, use the teeth, for a certain amount of time. You understand where I'm coming from? Now, I don't know what kind of thing that is to make that type of agreement. So like I said, but I think Miss Belinda Wilson, I heard her, and I heard you call her name. I respect her as a union leader because I heard her say that, if I'm not mistaken, that she was approached by various parties, and I could believe that because of her, who she is, and you know what I mean. And there have been lesser individuals who go into politics, and also she said though that she had run before, but she chose to run independently. I respect that, and I think she said that even if she was to quit being a union leader and go back into politics, that she would still run independently. You see, I respect that. You understand where I come from? Because, like I said before, how could you be in discussion with these governments over the years and realize that they really don't have the best interests of the people at heart? Mm-hmm. You understand where I come from? So as a union leader, what you would want to do is, if you are truly concerned about changing the country and justice and what's right, you would want to continue on the path that would always put you in opposition to these people. You know what I mean? Not one that would cause you to be a part of it. You understand where I'm coming from? So I appreciate and I respect how she but like you saying, Howard, are you talking, man? You know that the union leaders nowadays are ineffective. You know, the kind of way they all should be, not all, but most of them should be fired. You understand? Like, because it seems as if all they do is compromise with the hotels and with the government, and also the government themselves. When it comes to the actions of these hotels over the years and over the decades, they themselves have proven themselves to be lacking, should I say, for lack of a better word, because the government's supposed to stand up on the side of the people. You understand where I'm coming from? And the government is supposed to be able to demand that the hotel act in the best interest of the people.
I agree with you.
And if they choose not to, then the government is in a position to do whatever they want to do. Even if they want to take the hotel and take it over and say, okay, now this is a government hotel, like how some of them is threatened to close down and leave or whatever, the government could say, okay, go. You know what I mean? We run it. You understand where I'm coming from?
But they haven't taken on that position. They need to do that, but they haven't done that.
Yeah, but the government needs to own the hotels too, Howard. I mean,
I believe you. I agree with you. I believe that
number one industry. We as a people should own.
I agree with you.
Within tourism that generate revenue, like
I agree
the
with
hotel.
you.
I mean, at least one hotel, at least one cruise ship.
I agree with
we
you.
should have it as opposed to having all kind of other cruise ship who fly in our flag, just polluting our waters and taking
I agree with
advantage of us. You know what I mean? We ourselves should have one or two of these things so we could make some money ourselves.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? If it's our number one industry, you know.
I like this. I appreciate your call, my brother.
Yeah,
Thank you so
have a good
much.
day, Howard.
Thank you so much. I want to touch this just a little bit. Somebody say, Howard, stop trying to discourage people from joining the union. I'm not trying to discourage you from joining the union. I'm not. But if this was a gang, hypothetically, and I was being beat up every day, and I needed some strong people, I'm not going to get the gang that is get beat up. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to get the lackadaisical guy. I'm not going to transition hypothetically that doesn't have strength and doesn't have, well, you could hang with us, Howard. Well, we don't get in people's way. No. I need to get, this is the path that I'm supposed to be on. Now, you can help me fight this fight or what you can do? Well, we don't fight, Howard, but just join us. For what? I'm not discouraging people from joining the union. You want somebody to fight for you or you just want to be a part of something to say you're a gang? There needs to be reorganizing, a shuffling within the mindset of these administrations far and wide in this country. Far and wide. I can say some things to y'all today, and I need y'all to hear. Okay? The FNM and the PLP, the unions, and any other organization that is connected from a corporate standpoint and that speaks to the general public needs to modify their approach on how they're dealing with people and dealing with things. They must. They must. This traditional concept and idea of being able to go through so almost the annals of time and history to be able to get to your modern day audience, for me is archaic. It's out of date. It's played out. There needs to be a podcast. Oh, Howard, listen, man, calm down. Just listen to me. There needs to be a podcast. There needs to be a professionally done podcast. Professional. Not with your telephone with leaning and dropping off the table every so often. Not with the fuzz. Not with that grease in the back of your camera. And you're sitting down there and we hearing you scream in the room with echo. Not that sloppiness that you're trying to present to people. Do it professionally. Do it professionally. Do a professional podcast. Take your breaks. Take your understanding. Get a media consultant that can tell you how to do these things. Find yourself on the proper platform, things accordingly. Sit down and have a conversation about things that matter within the union. Identify the rhythm of how long we can be able to do these things within your organization. How long? What are the things that matters? Sit down and talk to people and make them to understand. So when I sitting down and I eating soup or I having a sandwich or I just chilling out and I need to be able to be informed, I have access to that. There needs to be an app that people can access and identify, know the language of your stuff, and they can become a participant in that. There needs to be that. The unions need to find strength in this country to be able to say, we endorse this particular person for these various constituencies. We endorse this. You keep running to the FNM, you keep running to the PLP. These people are screwing us over. How can I trust you not to screw me over if they're screwing me over and you are aligning yourself with them? How? You can't even stand in your constituency and say we have X amount of percent of representation in this particular constituency, and we want this particular person to go forward with representation because we know that this person can do this, this, and this, and we're put. Yeah, that's what you should do with your money. It should be decent. You all are a waste of our time. And we don't have no more time to waste. Next telephone call on the line. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Grant? Dr.
Good,
Grant?
man. What's happening with you?
I radio man. Listen, I don't know if you knew, but Friday past or this week, Monday, I think, or sometime this week, an injunction was filed and a judicial review for what has happened between the BPL.
By this new union, right? I mean, by a new political organization or something like that, right?
Bahamas Constitution Party.
Okay, yeah.
Now, my advice too, and I supported them. I also stood with them in terms of this injunction and the judicial review. My advice to the union is, now that we have pushed in and seek to get the law and the courts intervention instead of just protesting and doing, now is a good time for them to join in favor for us to deal with this matter because this impacts every Bahamian.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
You see?
I like that.
Because if you read the newspaper, right, they all of a sudden, after they did their deal privately, these audits start coming out. We have no control or say. The audits could tell us how they spend a bunch of money on fuel, how this and that, okay? And these things is what the main people have been asking for years that they failed to tell us. And so this action alone should give us a reason for us to question in our mind as right-thinking Bahamians, is this borderline treasonous? Because private firms don't operate this with their corporation and their board of directors. They go and report and make decisions according to the group. And I don't understand why our parliamentarians and the people that we elect seem to can't figure that one out. Why they think we can continue to allow them to conduct business as usual, especially when they're hurting the citizens.
Well, we need people who could be able to stand up for us. And so if the Bahamas Constitution Party is an organization, I don't know who the members in that, I'm sure I could be able to find out more information about that, but I don't know who is the grouping of that.
Cheryl Ali McIntosh, the servant leader, is the person that is head. Then Dwayne Hyler is the deputy leader.
Now you said, yeah, I did see the picture. Yeah, I did see the picture.
Yeah.
I did see the picture.
And it's good to know that because they're the only party I went to that endorsed Sanchez, as an independent, to work with them, brother, as a political party,
Wow.
I've been to FNM. I've spoken to Michael Pentard, and he told me he couldn't do it. I've spoken to Lincoln. He told me I had to become under him in order to get a collaboration.
The Coalition of Independence?
Yeah, he told me I had to make him the leader. He had to be the leader. That's his thing. If you want to be under him, he's the leader.
That's crazy.
Now, I went to Brave, Mr. Davis. They told me I had the right. I've been writing for about a year now. No response. So who you want me to support, Mr. Grant, if you want to be honest as a man? Do I support the people who reject me or do I support the people who accept me?
Well, you are in Garden Hills, right?
Yeah, Garden Hills.
You're in Garden Hills. I think your agitation in Garden Hills has to be relentless. I think that you need to find your position with the community as opposed to finding your position with leadership in the community. I think you need to stay in the community and let people know where your heart exists by being able to tell these short stories, being able to find people who could give you funding to feed people. That's what you do. That's what your independent thing is.
I'll tell you this, Howard. I funding my campaign myself. And so I tell the gardeners that I'm really looking for is support and votes because when I come in, it's a job. I get paid to serve. So at the end of the day, my job is to advocate and to show them that I qualify to produce for the job that is going to be available. Okay, now the problem was with gardeners is I had initially set up to go and be in some place, but my family got together and they decided that they didn't want me there. So that had been hindering me from campaigning like that because I wanted to find a space a place to rent in Garden Hills. You see?
So you don't have a headquarters set up in Garden Hills?
No, because I have a headquarters set up yet. I'm looking for a place to rent because I had
Get a
someone in
mobile.
mind.
Get a mobile.
I born and raised in Gardner, you know.
No, well, let's talk. Let's talk. I want you to come check one fence by me anyhow. But get a mobile van, like where they sell all the little curry and chicken and other things like that out. Get one little mobile van.
But
Make that your
that's
mobile
smart.
van. Hook it up in the back of your truck. Ride it around. Put your face on the side of it. This is Hanchel. Ride up and down to Garden Hill. Stop there. Park here. Park there. Let people see
Yeah.
who you is.
I
Put
like
some
that.
speakers out in the back of it. Let people know
Yeah.
that you're making noise every time you're moving through.
Yeah.
And let people know these things. Go to the school. Park it in the front of the school. Let the
Man,
little
listen,
children know. That's what you do.
I told my family, right, because I born and raised in Gardner. So I sheltered. My family keep me inside and everything, private school, going off to the university, come back home, start my business. So I ain't really had time to hang out in the streets. But when I went to my family recently, I said to my uncle, I said, listen to me, uncle. It don't make no sense. My grandma get a big 4-bedroom house in Gardner. There's only one person living there. I don't mind renting there and being able to campaign.
See, but the issue with family is they don't want to get in your politics. Angel, we got to talk. Call me on the 827-0111.
Yes, man, love you.
Call me. I appreciate that. Your family don't want to get involved in your politics. I sit down and tell all my uncles and my auntie and everybody, I running for the DNA. They say, go ahead. When they see me serious with it, they say, what the hell are you doing, boy? What you doing? They don't get them involved in your politics. Do what you got to do. Guys, quick commercial break back after this.
Ain't no summer set. Burrito will be great with the disco operator. 588 and a 6.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking for great device deals and offers this summer? Look no further. Alive has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive yet extra offers and rewards, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deals.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Attention, all fall 2024 applicants to University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching and we're thrilled to welcome you to UB. But first, we need your help. If you've started your online application, now is the time to submit all outstanding supporting documents. Make sure to send in your transcripts and copies of relevant passport pages urgently. To secure your acceptance to UB, your application must be fully processed. And remember to keep checking your emails for important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at University of the Bahamas.
Excuse me for the interruption. Boy, come and a quick reminder to say this coming Friday, and please come over the lawn. You went to the man #1 sound round town. And this a Friday evening. Bim! The people them tired of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Bim! It make them feel like dancing. Ain't no summer set. Burrito will be great with the disco operator. 588 and a 6-tweeter. This is Digitalk Sweeter.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation. Kind of grateful to be in your company. Hate to kind of do it like this, but I kind of, I can't lie to you. I don't hate it. I'm frustrated. And I don't know whether or not any productivity is happening in our country. I don't think people understand autonomy. I don't think they understand the strength that they have and they hold. I think that they have yielded, given up, and genuflected to the concept and idea of the powers that be, not understanding the powers that is. Man, talk to me. And it's get preachy very quickly. And I think that this is where we are with unions in this country. You don't understand that you wield the power. You don't understand that you hold the power. You don't understand that you have the power to shut this down. and you keep genuflecting, you keep yielding, you keep carrying almost like the wise men with incense and myrrh. You carry your integrity, your strength, your conviction, your autonomy, and you package it up and you give it to the feet of governments. That's what you do. You look far and wide and go there with the packages of the integrity and the strength, the conviction of your organization, and shovel it to the feet of these people and say, hey, how you doing? Well, we know you ain't in right now, but this is our strength, eh? This is our strength, sir. It's foolish. It lacks wisdom. You don't know what to do with it, you shouldn't be sitting in the seat. You taking this whole car, this whole ship that you're responsible for, and you asking the fish to drive the boat. This don't make no sense. It just don't make no sense. I'm frustrated with it. Over the years, you could have taken this power and done something with it. You only getting $28,000 as a member of parliament. Don't mind these people saying to you, well, I can make you a minister, right? You could be the minister of labor. For what? What do you want to be the minister of labor for? You have the entire labor force under you. For what? What good is that going to do for you? What good is that? Your legacy will be diminished by lackluster, lackadaisical prime minister if he or she sits in the particular capacity. It don't matter what you think you could do. You serve at the pleasure of the prime minister. You can't institute no change in labor. You can't institute no change in education. You can't do nothing without the prime minister say so. And in the event that you can, person who look good here is the prime minister. You get your $28,000. You get your $60,000. You work your guts out to hope to get a constituency. It don't make sense. What you doing? What are you all doing? I don't understand your thinking. You got sure money because the hotel's open. But you decide to render your strength and autonomy to these governments, to these political organizations. Let me be decent. If it was governments, it would have been better. It's political organizations that have no strength. Their only strength is the potential of what can be, not what is. You cast your lot with what can be, and then when it doesn't work out, you don't know what to say to the people. So all of us screwed, even those who didn't vote for that government. Where are we going to find safety in this country? Where? Where's our refuge? Where? And now you come with Zuma? My God, leave them people alone. Let me take a telephone call. Caller, go ahead.
Hi, Howard. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. What I want to say is this. Randall Fox brought labor to this country. I remember as a young woman, he walked the beat for black people to be clerks in the banks. And then Randall Fox ran the second time in St. Barnabas. The people spat on him, the garbage collectors. Randall Fox did not run anymore. BC, I hear Wilson carrying on. I lost 2 fridge, 1 computer. They used to have the light off, more than on, to get more money. They sabotage Blue Hill and Soldier Road. Carmichael, we suffered. I got a petition with over 100 people and carried it to the House of Assembly. And we got nowhere because BC thought that they had owned, the workers thought that they had owned BC. So they made more money than any public servant. So let them cry. If they can give me my BC, if they can give me my electricity half price, I mean, good for them because I could use it. So tell them stop crying, use that money that they got over the years when they used to carry on so biggity and sabotage the equipment to have their way. So let them have this to think about. The union did not stand with Randall Fox. They did not. Now they all have a union and they all carrying on. God bless you, Howard.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your telephone. I mean, you say you lose your fridge. What else? You're gone, eh? She says she lose her fridge and something else. I like this. Yeah, you'll need to. Sometimes you need to be able to look in the mirror of your actions or lack thereof. You have the strength, man. Stop asking the government for things. Shut the place down, and then go to court. Yeah, we'll deal with it. Shut it down. Bam. Now let's go to court. Let's go to court. We can deal with it in court. What you know, you ain't gonna put me in jail. Shut it down. Bam. Let's go to court. What y'all doing? I don't understand y'all. You all have the power in your hand and you're asking people for power. I don't understand that. You have no vision, you have no insight, you have no understanding, you don't utilize the strength that within the organization, you don't even understand the potential. You can't call me a master's degree. How many members have a bachelor's degree? How many members are in there who expanded, who have been certified in certain areas? What y'all doing? I don't understand what y'all doing. What you doing? You don't even know the talent pool that exists within the people who paying you every day. You can't call on them to get nothing done for you because they're fragmented. But they paying you. You ain't pulling them in. You can't get them. When you call a meeting, they ain't even coming. They don't even respect your voice. I don't understand what y'all doing. Shut it down. Shut it down. And then watch things change. We used to go in this country that we could lean on someone to help us. No place. No place. You go to the Royal Bahamas Police Force, there's corruption and the allegations of corruption. You go to the Attorney Generals, they tell you that we're not interested in the whistleblowers. We're not interested in these particular things that, well, we have a philosophical difference from the Freedom of Information Act. The ombudsman is not here. We're going to be able to do but, in the event that you feel indifferent, we're going to be able to ensure that we can legislate cannabis for you. Yeah. You go to labor. Labor said, well, what you want me to do? Educate. Well, what you want me to do? You find out some things within your constituency. You go to your member of parliament and say, Member of Parliament, do you know that these things were happening? Yeah, I know these things was going to happen, but what you want me to do? My God, where the people of this country could go. You go to the church already in bed with the government. They didn't get their 5 acres. They didn't get their piece of property. You got no place. And that is why Bahamian people say, well, it is what it is. What, I can get hypertension for this? You want me to get palpitation for this? And die early? There is no recourse in this country. No place you could go. None. You can't go to your member of parliament. You can't go to your church. You can't go nowhere for peace. Nowhere. The people who were supposed to be agitating and advocating for peace, put yourself in this position. And then somebody come and whisper to them. Hey, listen, you can make $66,000 a year. My God, you might as well make 666 from the devil. I just want to be decent with you. Decent. For a little piece of money, you give up everything that God called you for and prepared you for from you as nothing. Every experience that you've ever been through prepared you for the leadership that is required to get our people out. And the only thing you've done is cast your lot with the enemy. Those people who have gone contrary to the things that's supposed to happen in this country. All are useless, man. Useless, man. I don't understand this. I'm looking at this and I'm just trying to figure out where the people of this country, we crying out to Jesus Christ every night. Every night. People crying out to Jesus Christ smoking. They're crying out to Jesus drinking rum. They're crying out to Jesus every day. They're standing on the line to be to Jesus when the people send his bill. These things, you don't even know when you got to pay your phone bill. You cry every day. We got to cry out to God. We can't buy chicken. We can't buy conch. We can't buy nothing without crying out to God. But you know what? In Grand Bahama, Eclipse is $1. That's bare. If you didn't know. In Grand Bahama, you could get Barton and a Roostercrat and spend $10. You could get wet and forget all these things. That is where worship has led this country. Because no one advocating for us. No one agitating for us. Generation of degenerates. Because you've forgotten where the marks are in this country. You're indecent. Next telephone call. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Hey, right, yeah. Howard, the song say, we'll understand it by and by. When the morning come, Howard, you'll understand. One of these days you'll understand. But in the meantime, take it to Jesus. Take it to Jesus, my brother. Take it to Jesus. But Howard, let me just ask you something. You really think those people only making $28,000?
Yeah.
You think you will leave your $100,000 job to go for $28,000? Can $28,000 take care of you, Howard?
No.
No. So don't you keep running this now.
I telling you what on the paper would come to the forefront. You want me to sit down here and make allegations? I can't do that.
Howard, paper will sit down and let you write anything on it. Okay? These people getting $150,000 a year. Have you ever seen any audited report of how that money is spent, Howard?
These people are not making $150,000 a year.
I am saying, have you ever seen any audited report of how the constituency monies are spent?
Actually, I have.
Yes, where?
My mother, you keep forgetting that my mother did this.
You keep going back to 100 years ago, man. When was the last time we had an audited report? You keep, man, listen, now I keep telling you that.
I only can tell you what I know.
Did the Bible say, in the beginning?
I can't tell you what you know. I only can tell you what I know.
You talking about the old thing with your ma. Come on, man.
I can tell you.
Yeah, but how long ago was that?
My mother was a member of parliament in 2007. From 2007 to 2012.
Okay. We don't. They get 100. It was 100,000. Now it's $100. Okay. You think anybody in their right mind and everybody clamoring to get into politics? Okay.
Politics ain't about money, man. It's about prestige.
No, and all of them come talk to you, but I want to serve my country. I want to, I want to be of service to my country. I would listen here. Listen. I got to go. I can talk to you later. Have a good day, buddy.
Yeah, somebody calling you and telling you, stop talking foolishness on this radio. You need to stop. Next telephone call on the line. Go ahead.
How are you keeping it real today?
I got to, man. I sick and tired. I can't take this no more.
Pardon me?
I sick and tired. I think it's the temperature outside. I just tired. I can't take it.
If you man like you are, I keep telling you that you're good man.
Praise God.
Known you for many, many years in the hotel, even though you don't remember me. But I remember you pretty well.
Which department you was in?
I used to work in housekeeping.
Oh my God! Downstairs with okay. So you was with Karen then?
That's right, and I was steward for 14 years.
I remember. Praise God. Praise God.
I tell you all, when you talk about this and so forth, gentlemen call early and say the ones from back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were the good and decent ones. Not really, how. Not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it real, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we are shocked, we see some things, right?
I know.
We hear some things. And we know some stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can tell you for a fact, you see that Mr. Woods, he is a decent man.
Darren.
From back then, Darren.
Mm-hmm.
When he was just a trustee.
Atlantis, though.
What do you mean, working?
Yeah, was he working at Atlantis?
I can't remember, I only know him in the union.
Okay.
He used to come along with me, Mr. Bain and back then and them.
Mm-hmm.
But I say all of that to say, the reason these persons don't have no respect for the union power, because see these union leaders too. Okay? You can't expect for these experts and foreigners to respect the union leaders when they see the dirty tricks what they do to the membership, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you see these things going down, it's because of our union leaders, okay? When they're negotiating these contracts and stuff, they just get their piece. And then we drizzle down, it goes to the membership.
Mm-hmm.
So when they change that, but then how could they? Because let's say, for example, Sanders persons, right? Somebody else come in. You don't think they just talk? These experts talk to one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they begin to talk and say, oh, you just got to give the nigga or give those fellas a couple of money under the table and bam. And then that word will mouth go out. What you expect?
But we've heard many stories like that.
Yeah, well, it's the truth. When you hear it ain't far from the truth, right? It's the truth.
I know.
And past and present, So when we hear them opening their mouth like Mr. Rio this morning and yesterday when he called Naughty Show, I wanted to call back because they're
Who been there, John?
Yes, they just get their
I hear
voice
Lonnie
when
Show.
they out of the seats. Howard, okay? You been there and you could do some change. You could do some stuff. And don't tell me you can't, because you could, even if you couldn't get it done, let people see you was aggravating, so it could be done. You say nothing. Where were your voice? I didn't hear it. I can't remember it. And what changes? You know, I don't want to hear from nobody who been there, could have done that. To be honest with you, when you start opening your mouth, I don't even want to hear you. Let me hear from some persons who haven't been there, like yourself, who was trying out and didn't get there. People could listen to a man like you every day, and Naughty and the rest of them. Y'all could talk. Now, once you get there and then, you know.
You ain't
then,
do nothing.
You know,
If I cast my lot in with them and I don't do nothing, I can't come back. I can't show my face no more.
No, you can't. If you give, that's why I say any politician who been there and was given a chance and didn't prove themselves, they don't deserve another chance.
I appreciate that.
In my book, that's how I often feel. Okay.
Thank you so much for your telephone call, my dear. Let me take the next one. Telephone call on the line. Go ahead.
Lord,
Hey.
it's unfortunate I didn't get a call for the lady made her statement about me. She obviously don't know my career as a...
Mr. John Pinder.
Yeah.
What's up with you, my brother?
She don't know me as a trade unionist. I don't have to brag about myself. One of the best in the business.
Praise God. I'm not going to fight
every
you.
government seat to the fire. As director of labor, I've been against my own government when it comes to sending foreign workers around this country when I know full well we could have recruited Bahamians. So that woman definitely ain't part of my career. She don't know me. Name one who was better than me, and I will tell her if I think the person was better or just as good as me. But
You know, the first person they can call is Shane Gibson. The first person they can call is Shane Gibson.
Who?
Shane Gibson.
What Shane Gibson? Michael tonight. What's Shane Gibson? I sit down. Couldn't get my own shoe. So no good politician.
Praise God. I'm not going to fight you.
Don't do it. Don't do it. He ain't been around long enough.
I just tell you this the name.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Maybe Akita Archer or one of them. Don't do it. Me, Belinda, maybe you could say maybe Akita Archer. Definitely a Pat Bain. Couple of the rest of them, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
Now,
do it.
tell me what
Now,
you
let me
what,
just tell you.
what you
Let me
make
just
of
tell
this
you.
thing, what's happening now. Go ahead. Talk to me.
That's all what's happening now. All right. But we know for well Sanders is not labor friendly. Never was.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I tried to get a job with Sanders after I was finished with politics after the election. I had 3 interviews with Sanders. As far as I concerned, all went well. As far as I concerned, I was supposed to be working at Sanders. But I understood from 1 or 2 places that some of them staff members at Sanders start to rejoice when they have getting a job because they figure somebody come look out for them. Now, I believe Sanders was threatened, thinking that I was coming to try to form a union. I wasn't going to no form a union because if I'm a part of management, I ain't going to let you take advantage of no subordinate staff. I ain't going to take advantage of Bahamian. But, you know, I'd rather resign than do that. That's my reputation. That is still there. So it's unfortunate that Sanders are doing again what they're doing. I do not know when they sent a letter to the government indicating that they can do renovation. I don't know if that's before they were told that they have to pay this money. I don't know at what point they would have issued a letter, but they don't need letters. I don't know that. But it's unfortunate that there's a policy, but there's actually the law in employment act that allows employers to do certain things. I remember I was treasurer of the union in 2000 when we started this employment. I remember challenging Hubert Ingram. I said to him, I don't like this part of the act. I was only treasurer. I remember him telling me, Mr. tell me, shut up. Okay? I didn't like the fact that the employment allowed for an employer to get rid of an employee without any reason, just pay him and let him go. I didn't like that. And I fought that even when I was president of the union. I fought as president of the Congress. I still believe that is an unfair law that we have in place. Okay? I don't like your hairstyles. I tell you, Harvard, I don't like your hairstyles. Pay him and let him go. So I don't think that was fair. I think we ought to ensure that employment, I speak to you, violating some policy of the employer.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So tell these people that they don't know John Bennett, they can tell you, and if you don't know how strong I was as a union leader, you know who you could talk to? Talk to Arthur Allen. He was my attorney. He could tell you meetings I went and how I made some prime ministers crunch in their seat, boy. I don't play when it comes to when I was a trade union. I don't play. Now, let me say this. As you to what's going on now with Sanders, until the government stops, and it's unfortunate that this happened under the party I supported, they allow for these people to come in this country and violate the Constitution of the Bahamas. Restrict the freedom of association. It's unfair. We stand on the ILO Convention. We are member state of the ILO. The ILO Convention allows for every employee in a country who receives a salary or a wage, except those of a military nature, to be unionized. So I thought it was really unfair when the government allows Sandals and Breezes and a couple
But
of
the
other,
precedent had already been set. You know that. The precedent had already been
wrong.
set from Sandals, what was happening here.
Again, to do for a couple of jobs. And you can't sell out the bread out of your country, man.
That's what has happened.
Why we need them? These people want to invest in the Bahamas. They see business opportunity to make a profit. That's why they will come in the Bahamas. They ain't just going to come here for common sake.
They ain't our friend. They come here for business.
See, the problem, and Bahamians, of course, is foolish anyhow. But when we vote, we talk about the government. When they start campaigning, oh, we created 300 jobs, 3,000 jobs, whatever amount of jobs. What kind of jobs you create? Huh? Still slavery mentality?
Low level, low end jobs.
And we keep voting governments, successive governments, and after government, after government, after government. Nobody is thinking about how many millionaires the government created, how many entrepreneurs the government created, what kind of opportunities they created for entrepreneurs. Look at these stuff, they brag about these 12 million tourists. What you get from them? The air tax, that's it.
That's it.
Millionaires, those 12 million tourists coming to the Bahamas created. How much opportunities they created. And what you doing? You letting the rich get richer? I see the girl the other day, what's her name, from the COI, the deputy, who was the deputy, what's her name? The lawyer. I saw
Maria.
on Facebook the other day showing how
Maria Daxon?
Great Cliff had a spot out there on the dock. How another big time franchise get a spot out there, competing against the little thing, the little straw.
But that's where the union's supposed to shut the thing down.
These people that talk foolishness on this radio, man, they don't understand what's going on. The problem with the Bahamas House, and that's why the trade union movement appears to be weak. The members of a trade union will put more faith in their political party than in the trade union movement.
My God.
That's the problem we have. And it happens.
But what you say, John, you's my friend. What would you say if the people say you have done the same thing? You have cast your lot with the Free National Movement after everyone said we don't want nothing to do with the competent authority. Talk to me.
Okay, so listen to me. So let me tell you now. I was hoping that I would have gotten an opportunity to get in that parliament, even if it was in opposition, just to make sure I can speak these things I'm you right now from my parliament state. See, I will not be a Warren Miller. That's my good friend, my schoolmate.
You just show one under the bus.
Throwing camera, you shut your mouth up.
This is a big bus.
I will tell you this. I will tell you, I'm an F&M supporter. And if I run the next election, I get elected, and Pentagon becomes prime minister, he named me the cabinet, I will tell him, if I cannot do certain things, don't put me in your cabinet. If I can't say certain things, do certain things, don't put me in your cabinet. I all about ensuring Bahamians, especially workers, because it's the trade union movement that made me. I want to make sure they're always secure. I will speak to them until I turn blue in the eyes. I speak on behalf of people who can't speak for themselves. I have a passion for that, and I wouldn't play with that. The problem, I think, politicians have, they have a vision. They will do something for their constituency and do something for the country. They don't make sure the government puts it in, whoever's the political party, put it in their blueprint. Put that in your blueprint so you have no excuse to stop me from doing it. I saw a good campaign and said, oh yeah, when I get the natural resources, I'm going to make sure the natural resources that the next woman cabinet post on me, I got to shut my mouth because that ain't what they want to do.
Wow.
I am convinced that successive prime ministers of this country don't want to see Bahamians advance financially and economically.
Hold on now.
Listen,
So you see Michael Pintard showing showing what it takes to say that he wants to see Bahamian people empowered. You're seeing that now.
With him, and based on the attitude that's been displaying so far, I'll take a chance with it.
I can call you after the show.
All right, but let me just do this one last thing. We have no economic emancipation. We got to emancipate ourselves. Economically, we need economic emancipation, man. And the country has the ability to do it. Okay, but they keep putting the money in one cycle. I just finished telling a group of fellas this morning, 4 set of people have been controlling this country from day one. You got the Bay Street boys. You got the Numbers boys. You got the Sunshine boys. And you got, I don't know how you call Rupert Roberts, who control all the food.
The food boys.
They're the 4 groups of people who control the country. I told them, let's start a moonlight group. Let's call ourselves the Moonlight Group. let's try to do something, because the money keeps going one cycle. This one keeps running this party and that one get rich. And they're smart enough to use Bahamians.
I like this,
they
John.
got both sides being represented. When they have them in power, somebody didn't protect that group. When the PFP in power, somebody didn't protect that group.
I like
What's the names of them 10 people who get together and bought that fortune of PPL? What's the names of them? Same millionaires over and over again. And you know why nobody don't talk about this? Because if I talk about them, I can't ask them for a sponsor when it comes to the election.
But once you know the rhythm of how society works, John Ben, I got to take a commercial break. I can call you after this, okay? Let me call you after the show.
Good.
I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That's John Pender. We're going to be able to take this quick commercial break and get right back after this.
Looking for a car that combines reliability, innovation, and options to fit every type of driver? Look no further than Toyota. Whether you're in the market for a fuel-efficient gasoline engine, a cutting-edge hybrid, or a fully electric vehicle, Toyota has you covered. Known for their unparalleled reliability, Toyota vehicles are built to last. From the versatile RAV4 to the eco-friendly Yaris and the all-electric BZ4X, there's a perfect Toyota for every lifestyle. Choose Toyota, the brand that drives you forward. Visit Executive Motors today, located East Shirley Street, a part of the Auto Mall Group, or call 242-397-1770. Toyota, let's go places.
Marco's is the talk of the town this summer. We've got an irresistible deal for you and your family. Purchase 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas, a delicious Pizzoli, and cool down with a free 2-liter soda. All for just $27.50. Visit your nearest Marco's location or order online at marcospizzabahamas.com and get yours today. After all, what's the summer without Marco's Pizza?
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. All at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion. Located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama Market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Attention, all fall 2024 applicants to University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching and we're thrilled to welcome you to UB. But first, we need your help. If you've started your online application, now is the time to submit all outstanding in your transcripts and copies of relevant passport pages urgently. To secure your acceptance to UB, your application must be fully processed. And remember to keep checking your emails for important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at University of the Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Excuse me for the interruption. Boy, come and a quick reminder to say this coming Friday, and a police gonna over the lawn. You went to see man number 1 sound round town. And it's a Friday evening. Bim! The people inside of work.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, the foundation. Howard, it wasn't for the hotel. Where would the country be? 51% in America would run to America. 51% in America would run to America. I suppose 51% of persons in our country would run to America. That's what you're saying. That don't just run like that. You could run to America all day. You could run from America to other places and find it. That don't work like that. That don't work like that. Also, I want to be able to talk about this. I just got stopped the other day. I hadn't been able to watch some things from Silvius, right? Our whistleblower out of Liberty City, Miami-Dade, wherever he was from, talking about the issues. I understand that he's in the hospital and dealing with some infections that's running up and down his body. Somebody stopped me and said, Howard, man, we got to pray for him. And they showed me this stuff. I hadn't been following, since the incident. And so, it's important that people don't become martyrs on behalf of a country that don't even care. It's important that those people who are agitating, speaking up and speaking out are protected. They're protected. They find protection. And not just this kind of loose slack, no evidence, no information being able to bring to the forefront. If you have validity, if you have a proper source, a trusted source, and you're providing substantial information, I think that division that protects these people. Everybody can't be corrupt. For Jesus' sake, God, I just get so tired. Everybody can't be a thief. Lord God, everybody can't be a thief. It can't be. How big could this one apple be that it spoiled the whole barrel? My God, this spoiled apple keep growing. Everybody cannot be a thief. All these negative things that we're hearing about corruption, that can't fall on the shoulders of everyone. Someone has to have the integrity to keep these things together. Our country is falling apart, man. Because of greed. Because of greed and your short-sighted nature to be able to feed your pleasures, your flesh, your individual positions, and not understanding the reason that you were called for greatness. You were called. You were called to this. I don't care what you believe in. You were prepared from you was born to do this. I don't care what you was believing. It doesn't matter to me if you don't believe in my God. That don't have nothing to do with me. That's your business. You got to figure that out. Every man have to be able to fear God and worship God and serve God with its own fear and trembling. You got to deal with it. But I know one thing for sure, that you were called to be where you are. You were prepared to be where you are. You believe that you just was looking for a job and you walk into this. No, man, you were called to do this. Now, you got to determine whether or not you do this to the honor and glory of the supremacy that gave you an opportunity to feed your children and feed your wife, or whether or not you can be slack and sloppy and be a thief. You got to determine that. But you're in position to do the right thing. And the country depends on you. We are waiting on you. The earth cries out for you to do the right thing. Come on, man. It's time, man. Listen, it's time. People sending me all these texts about how much money the politicians making, and all there's not enough money. It's not enough money. It's just not enough money. It's not enough. You're not going to try to persuade me with $150,000. That's chump change. I want a Cadillac truck right now. Right now. I want a big body Cadillac 2022. This is 22. I don't need a 24. I'm doing too much. 2022, 21. Something big, nice. That right there can be but $50,000. That's what I want. How $150,000 can help me? And then if I get one, my wife can need one too. Come on, talk to me. I can't do nothing with your little piece of change. I can't do nothing with that. I could stay on course with what I'm doing, work out some things, execute some contracts, identify some things, some prospects, so forth and so on, do my business. That's how I make my money. Why you think you could convince me with your little piece of money? There are people who came in the studio. I got to be decent right now. I can be decent. Howard, we have such and such and such. Would you consider this? I say, man, no, I don't know. I say, I appreciate it. But y'all, I can't do nothing with that little piece of money. But y'all try to give me, man. And I'm trying to insult you. But I got to look, and I got children to take care of. So I can let God take care of me. I can be all right. And if I ain't get it, I ain't supposed to have it. I ain't fighting. But you will do whatever it takes to put your hand and put your convictions, put your position, your call in with these people and this position that you ain't supposed to be in. You ain't supposed to be there. Y'all are destroying this country. And y'all going to have to answer for this. Every one of y'all that you believe that you're getting away with this, you all are going to answer for this and burn eternally for this. Eternally. That you believe that life is only the confines of living, of when you're born and when you die. You believe that's life. But oh my God, there's a life that's coming that you're going to have to answer for your lies and your deceit, for corrupting and destroying this country. You all are no good. And sometimes I try to figure out, God, why don't you just let these people drop down dead? I just want to be decent today. It's too much. God, why don't you just take these people out? Why don't you just move some people aside, Jesus? I can't get in God's business. This is my own thoughts. As I look at this, I try to figure out how we could get beyond this point. My God, we're supposed to be in a better position in this country. Serve Jesus Christ, that don't serve God, that don't acknowledge the supremacy of what we call the Father, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. How these people making money, how they could make so much money in residuals, in surplus, that they could be able to pay their people. These people that have no faith of our own. They share in nothing that we share in, that we call our God, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. But these people that serve everything else, they're making money, taking care of their families. And you're all content with this. You all are content with this. You all rather throw your lot in with those people who say, well, you know, there's 12 genders. There's 72 genders. That's what you want to throw your lot in with that. You want to throw your lot in with this sort of an idea that says, well, you know, we need to amalgamate ourselves to worldviews. That's what you want to do. Nobody standing up for righteousness. Everybody trying to figure out how I could get in where I fit in. The country going to hell in a handbasket. And I'm not talking about the actual hell. Maybe it's there too. But I'm talking about economic hell. I'm talking about occupational hell. I'm talking about educational hell. I'm talking about access and home land ownership hell. I'm talking about infrastructural hell. I'm talking about our body, our health, what we ingest in this country, hell. We going through hell. And the people that we put in place, we put these people in place and we say, well, if the top tier leadership doesn't work out, we have this particular leadership, which is going to be a secondary tier that could always be able to be sort of they can capture all of these things. They can be a safeguard for us. Those people corrupted, every level corrupted. My God. Let's be decent. Telephone line, go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, what's happening, my brother?
At least you confessing that you may be a part of the problem.
How's that?
If they could attract you, if they could like snip you off, because I've seen a couple of talk show hosts who are extremely valid, and they get awful like on posts, and they're gone. But let's understand the problem. As long as the government, these people are safe. Okay? That's the underlying problem. We have failed to create an economic system that we can be helped by. And, you know, if you ever go out to Bahama or Sandals or Atlantis, try to take a stroll to the parking lot, right? And just see how much red plates be out in those places every weekend. You know, plates we paying for. You know, it's like our people have found a way to like burn the candle at both ends. And the persons we see out there who be arguing and carrying on like they's enemies, they be sitting down at the same table every weekend and they eating together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They can only find out what the problem is. Children come along. And the question is going to come to them, you know. So what happened to your, you know, what happened in your era, you know? How come you didn't make no plans to provide for us? You know, they are living for themselves. Their dress, their food, you know, even when they go to church, they, you know, they show up big time. Okay? We got to get back to the basics, you know. And I appreciate what John said. We got to start some moonlight groups.
Well, I appreciate your call, my brother. Thank you so very kindly for that. Just two things I want to be able to talk. You say as a part of the problem. Now, my attractivity don't have nothing to do with whether or not I'm attracted to you also. There's no reciprocity in what you view as attractive. There's nothing there. I'm sure there's many a woman that salivate about me right now. Talk to me. Just be decent. That doesn't mean that I'm not concerned about that. As a good, decent, happy married man. Talk to me. Let's just be very clear. It doesn't matter how you view me. It doesn't matter how you, based upon your game plan, your strategic approach to be able to commandeer all those persons, those voices within media or within any space. That doesn't have anything to do with me. Because rest assured, I have been offered healthy offers. But that don't make no sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. You know why? Because there's a difference between journalism and reporting. In this country, I'm going to be decent. In this country, we have a lot of reporters. Despite the fact that they've gone to school for journalism, they have become reporters. Now, what a reporter is that whatever's on the teleprompter, whatever's placed before you, you read that. All you do is ingest that and then you vomit it back out. Your job is to report. Your job is not to be critical in your thinking. Your job is not to be able to dissect these things accordingly. I'm not a journalist, nor am I a reporter. I'm a host. I'm a host of a talk show where I provide you education and entertainment. I provide you information and insight. I'm a host. And so my autonomy in this particular space to dissect accordingly can lead me into a space where I act as a journalist, but not necessarily have the confinements of that particular space. Yeah, because you're not going to see Howard serious all the time with you on these matters. There's sometimes we have very light conversations about issues, about persons, about this. We laugh. Every time I'm here with Ian, we laugh. I'm not a journalist. I'm a host. And in my hosting, I have the pleasure of being able to, and sometimes the pain, of being able to dissect what I believe is being said in the news in contrast to what I see happening in my community. So if you find me attractive from your political vantage point, then that's your business. Now, if I am attracted to you, then that is where the connection happens. I have not been attracted to any of these people and their organizations. I don't want to be a part of these people. And I definitely ain't doing it for your little piece of money. Because I'm good. And so when you start to talk about these particular things, moonlighting and the next generation, the issue is accountability. That's the issue that we have in this country. We don't hold nobody to account. You let these people run wild for 5 years and then come back to you talking garbage about why they couldn't get to you, why they couldn't do these things. The only reason that you don't want to vote for them, they couldn't get to you personally. You don't hold them to account with the garbage that they've done over the past 5 years. Bunch of stupidness, foolishness to people and perpetuate foreign interest. Foolishness to continue to be able to marginalize youth and identify an opportunity to be able to empower youth from an external standpoint. Foolishness. To have a casual conversation about innovation, creativity, technology, and to be able to come back here and put everybody in a holding pattern just to make sure that you could put your traditional people by the table again. That is absolutely garbage. But the only reason you ain't want to vote for them is because they didn't come to you. Y'all don't hold nobody to account. That's your problem. That's your problem. You don't hold them to account. You want somebody else to do that. And then you want to whisper under your voice, yeah, that's true. He lied. But you can't stand up and say that. Child, I got my business. I got my house. I don't want to be victimized. What do you got the time to be victimizing you? You're victimized because you're seeking to be able to suck off the purse of the land. You ain't create no strategy and no approach to be able to get your business done. You got no creativity. It's just like the government. And you're hoping that your friends in government would send somebody to your building to rent your building. Child, I ain't rough no feathers. I got one little 5-plex down there. The government just put their things in there. And I can't say nothing. You need to stop it, man. Stop it. Emancipation Day on Monday. You can see me on Tuesday. Monday's a holiday, right? Monday is a holiday. Let's read one or two of these texts before we get out of here. We got 3 minutes. The only representation of the leadership in the union of my generation could only be Belinda Wilson. She is the only person in the union that I believe that would transition to government and still advocate for her cause, unlike all of those others that only aspire to get in government during its themselves and use their members. There's a text that's coming through. Let's see if we can read another one. It says, good afternoon, Howard and the Bahamas. Howard, institutions and organizations like the union and various associations exist to serve the workers' interests nowadays are sadly seconded and looked down on by the very people that need them the most. He's put a lot of text in this. He says the workers need to stop listening to the people talking nonsense, and unions are non-effective. If the unions don't stop their interest to learn about unions, they likely will always see that the unions as being non-effective. The hotels and other such businesses entities have their associations. It benefits them greatly. Workers, wake up out of your sleep and slumber and support and strengthen your unions. Don't wait until the flood comes and then try to get into the ark of safety. You can't do that because Jesus has shut the door. He says, good afternoon, Howard. The union of today do not exist. They do not represent the workers in no way. They're very lazy. The only union fully represented in the employees today is the teachers' union. That's Belinda's. Says, I was the workers at Atlanta's many years ago, and the last time I could remember the union was Mr. Pat Bean. These union is under Mr. Pat Bean. These unions are the worst, under that we've ever seen under the sun. Okay, let's see what he says. Please. Let me read this. It's always said that we must have some Asian ancestry because many what the hell am I reading? I'm not going to read that. Anyway, here we go. It says, Mr. Howard, the system in the Bahamas is messed up because of favorites and hand-pick appointments. It's about the Bahamas at large. There's a text that's coming through. Guys, I want to thank you so very kindly. It's time. I suppose that we're getting into this sort of emancipation, and I'm supposing that this sort of agitation would hopefully wake you up. Nobody care but you. Can I say that? Nobody cares. While you praying to God, drinking your Baton and your Alizé or whatever you drinking, trying to be able to forget about what's happening, you can't even find a space to agitate. These men and women, for the most part, have sold themselves for 40 pieces of silver. It's time for us to be able to hang them, proverbially, not literally. And their tenure should come to an end. Emancipate yourself, guys. Enjoy yourself for the weekend. Be safe when you go on the beaches. Be safe when you go to with your sweet thing in the can, getting your conch salad. Be decent this weekend. Have a beautiful time. We're going to see you on Tuesday when we're going to sit down and talk with Organization for Responsible Government on Tuesday next week. Guys, have a beautiful weekend. Have a great time. We're going to see you next week. God's Spirit right here on The Foundation.
Microphone chanting till the morning.